I'm the Director of DORS Office of Communication and Accessibility, and I'd like to welcome you to the second of two DORS public meetings. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why we have these meetings. The Maryland State Rehabilitation Council, and here's our first acronym for the morning, MSRC, and the Maryland State Department of Education's Division of Rehabilitation Services, or DORS, also an acronym, continually assess the rehabilitation and career needs of Maryland citizens with disabilities. As part of this assessment, DORS and the MSRC hold annual public meetings. So at the meetings, the members of our executive staff will give updates from their individual offices. Each presenter is allotted 5-ish minutes. And then at the end of everyone's presentation, we'll invite any guests to ask questions either verbally or in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them and offer follow-up information if needed. But we are going to ask everybody to hold their questions or comments till the end. The other thing is, if you are not the speaker, please mute so that we don't end up with any background noise. Okay, so I'm going to start right off by turning things over to Assistant State Superintendent for DORS, and also known as the DORS Director, Dr. Eric Bonner. Dr. Bonner?
Thank you so much for that, and good morning, everyone. As Ms. Schultz said, I am Dr. Eric Bonner. I'm the Assistant State Superintendent for the Division of Rehabilitation Services, also known as the Director of DORS. It is my pleasure to be with you all this morning, and I'm honored and humbled to have the opportunity to speak with you all. I will go through a couple updates for everyone for what we're looking for in the Division of Rehabilitation Services. I am coming up on my first year, completing my first year, and I'm excited about that. One of the things that I'm happy to then report is that I have continued to go through what my intentions of coming on to DOORS is as listening, learning, and building. I think it's very important to listen to everyone that's involved, that's internal, external, and also our consumers in the field. And then also making sure that I learn the system of Maryland. And I've had an opportunity of doing that as well with reaching out to some of our external stakeholders and internal stakeholders as well, and then making sure that I cross-functionally learn from those in the Maryland State Department of Education, our MSDE, and also our LEAs, our local educational agencies, about what their needs are here in Maryland. And then finally, the thing that I'm happy about is that we continue to build on all the great things that were already happening in Maryland, and then making sure that we move forward to talk about how we reimagine during these types of times for what's next for DOORS. When we talk about what's next for DOORS, I'm excited to then announce some of our year in review and progress. And so with that said, you'll hear from many of our colleagues today on this call, on the call today in regards to the great things that have happened. And so I will not steal a lot of their thunder, but I will just set them up. And so you'll hear many people talk about our employment outcomes. You'll hear that from Patrick Pito today. You'll also hear what we're talking about, our partnerships, how we strengthen our partnerships. I'm excited to talk about what we've done with our partnerships with the SILs. I'm excited to talk about our partnerships, how we've extended those partnerships as well with our SRC, which is almost at full capacity. And so I'm happy and excited to then talk about that. And so one of the things you'll hear Dr. Jones talk a little bit about that as well. You will hear Mr. Leniak also talk about the partnerships of how we've expanded across the shore, and then also here in the Baltimore area, as well with some of our school districts, and also outside of Baltimore with some of our school districts and the exciting things that are going to happen there. The next thing that I also want to make sure that we highlight on this call is talking about our request to equity and access. And you'll hear Ms. Lash talk a little bit about what we're doing to expand in our DIF grant that we've had across making sure that we expand the number of students and age groups that we also serve as well through the DIF grant. And so very, very, very much excited about many of those things that are happening. one thing that I'll talk about really quickly is talk about how the areas of opportunities that we have here in Maryland. Many people call them challenges. I call them areas of opportunity because I never think I meet a challenge that I can't solve. And so I'm excited to then talk a little bit about what's happening in regards to that. Right now, DOORS is, I always wanted to let people know that DOORS is federally funded and state funded, and it's about an 80 to 20 percent split. 80% federally funded. It's and exactly if you want to talk through it, is 21.3 percent for state funding. Right now, some areas of opportunities that we're currently looking at are our workforce capacity. DOORS counselors have twice the national average on their caseload. And when we talk through the capacity and the constraints that they're having, we also have some staffing shortages right now that we're inhibiting indoors as well. We are currently on a state hiring freeze, although we're looking to work towards getting hiring exemptions on there. We do have a hiring freeze that we have to adhere to by the state. That is one thing that's been worked out with our leadership in the Maryland State Department of Education. So I'm excited about some of those things coming through. But just to let you know, that's kind of what we're facing. I am excited that, when we talk about our workforce capacity, we're looking at innovative ways and approaches with Ms. Lash to talk about how we build up our EDU and expand to then decrease some of those caseload sizes. When we talk about our resource constraints, I mentioned before you looked at the federal funding. Right now, there is not a continuing resolution. Federal funding, the federal fiscal year ends at the end of this month. And so we are hoping that we have federal funding for the next upcoming fiscal year. With that said, I'm excited and I'm grateful for the SRC for their areas of advocacy and then making sure that we continue to educate and inform people about what's going on out there at the federal level. Although we cannot lobby, it is also our job to always continue to educate and inform you about what that impact may look like for the Division of Rehabilitation Services and then also currently at the state level. The next part that I will talk about the areas of an opportunity is the evolving workforce need. I talked a little bit about this at first. The economy continues to shift on a day-to-day basis, and with that said, DOORS remains responsive to the high demand. There's a very high demand. We have a actual wait list. If many people don't are not informed about that, and so that will be explained a little bit later in depth by some of the people on this call. And so we are at a wait list. We do currently have a wait list, and we're on an order of selection. And so that's an combine an opportunity of restraint. What I am excited about with these challenges is that I want to thank the people that are on this call. They answer to a call of action every single day, and so DOORS leadership, also our communities, and also community members and our SRC. And then I also want to thank you for being here. That's a step that also is moving in towards the right direction. Although we may be facing some type of challenges or areas of opportunities, I know that we have the right people in place to then meet them where they are and then also make sure that we move past them over those barriers. And so what we're looking at, we have continued to then work towards the mission of expanding transition services as well. And so Ms. Slash and her team has talked through that with Ms. Markham. And then we also talk about our employment engagement. It is very important to me to then be out there in the community and meet with many CRPs, many people, and everything to make sure that we talk about what is available through DOORS and making sure how we partner with one another. I can talk to you lastly about our innovative approach, making sure that we continue to reimagine what that things look like and continue to modernize and change with the times. That is very important. Although I have not mentioned, I've talked a lot about the field. I have not mentioned on this call another large component of DOORS, which is our DDS, Disability Determination Services Unit. And so the great things that they are doing, they've worked towards a backlog, and they have also made sure to then utilize technology in making sure to read in their reports and expanding with Imagine software. We've currently met with SSA, and many of those changes will also be implemented moving forward as we pilot many of those in the state of Maryland as well for Marylanders. Lastly, do want to once again thank everyone, thank MSDE leadership, the Maryland State Department of Education leadership, DORS leadership, our community partners, our counselors, our examiners, instructors. I cannot thank you enough. It has been great to walk into something that is so well ran. I would be remiss to not thank Miss Jody Boone. Jody Boone on this call, who was in leadership prior to me getting here, and every former director prior to me. The work was not possible, would not be possible without them. And so I'm forever grateful for their leadership as well. Although those people may not be on here, I want to thank our financial team, Mr. Carter and also Ms. Paragoy. The work that they do behind the scenes is instrumental in how we continue to move forward as well. As I always say, part of the expectations that I have at Doors is to make sure that we uphold the pacts of professionalism, accountability, communication, and safety, and make sure that we can provide optimal premier customer service and quality customer service. It is my goal that we continue to move towards that and continue to move towards that together. I will end my portion with what I always say, and I would say this at the end, but if I don't have enough time, I do want to make sure that I say this today. Remember, you can change someone's day with a smile. You can enhance someone's day by treating people better than you want to be treated. Continue to treat people better than you want to be treated, and everything else will figure itself out on the way. I'm going to tell you, in times of uncertainty, make sure that you're always kind. And I say that because even through anything, it costs nothing to be kind. It's free. And so that ends my director's report, and I will turn it back over to Ms. Schultz.
Thank you, Dr. Bonner.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so next on our agenda is Beth Lash. Beth is the Director of the Office of Field Services, or OFS. Beth?
You're muted.
Can't hear you, Beth.
Technical difficulties.
There you go.
Hold on for just a second. I was just saying that I'm very happy to be here with you this morning to give you some updates from the Office of Field Services. And so just bear with me a moment. All right. Dr. Bonner, in his introductory comments, mentioned the MPPI grant, or this is the Maryland Pathways to Partnership grant. And this is the Disability Innovation Fund grant that he mentioned. So we are finishing the second year of a 5-year Disability Innovation Fund, or DIF grant, from the Rehabilitation Services Administration. The Maryland Pathways to Partnership grant brings together Division of Rehabilitation Services, local education agencies, Centers for Independent Living, and the Parents Place of Maryland in Caroline, Charles, and Washington counties to provide services to youth with disabilities from ages 10 to 21. And so it is a new opportunity for DORS in Maryland to start working with these younger ages. Year 2 of the grant allowed for outreach to 894 youth with disabilities in these communities. Staff connected with the grant are now working to enroll these youth and refer them to services with partner agencies. We are looking forward to fully implementing services in year 3, which starts in October. At the end of my presentation, I'll go ahead and put some links in the chat in case you're interested in reading more information. And so one of the links I will share will be the website specific to this project. So I am going to go ahead and continue down the road of talking about some grants that we are involved with. Division of Rehabilitation Services is also partnering with the Maryland Department of Disabilities, Maryland State Department of Education, and other partners for the LINK DIF grant. So LINK stands for Leveraging Interagency Networks for Knowledge. And again, that's a Disability Innovation Fund grant. Maryland Department of Disabilities was the entity awarded the grant and has the lead. The purpose of this grant is to enhance data sharing between partners supporting the student so that the service delivery overall is improved. And I'll have a link regarding that grant that I'll pop in the comments as well. To continue down the grant lane, DORS is also a partner with the Maryland Department of Labor EARN grant for Certified Logistics Associate and Certified Logistics Technician training at Howard Community College. Training for these nationally recognized credentials is available to accepted DORS participants with tuition covered by the grant. Students also get to participate in an externship with a local employer. The next class for Certified Logistics Associate starts in October, specifically October 22nd, and I will be popping a flyer into the chat as well. And so I would also like to talk to you about our streamlined referral process for pre-employment transition services. And these are the services that we offer to students with disabilities age 14 to 21. So the new process involves simultaneously communicating with both the family and the referral source, which is typically the local education agency or the transition facilitator in that school system, to simultaneously communicate with both parties so that we are able to more timely collect documentation that we need in order to qualify the student. And upon receipt of the documentation, the case is immediately moved out and assigned to a counselor in Office of Field Services. This should reduce the wait time for the development of the service agreement that's necessary, as well as the implementation of the pre-employment transition services. And I'd like to also update you about our RISE program that stood for Reaching Independence Through Self-Employment. We had a contract with Psychometric Solutions that they provided training and support regarding that program. That contract ended in March of 2025. Even though that contract ended, we still have work in developing business plans with individuals by referring them to community resources. Examples of community resources would be community colleges, Small Business Administration, and SCORE. And with that acronym, I'd have to look it up, but I know it involves retired executives. So DORS will provide some will continue to provide some time-limited funding towards approved business plans. So even though the RISE program is no longer, self-employment is still an option through DORS. And then finally, I wanted to update you on our latest success story. I will be popping that into the chat as well. We are very proud of Tennille. Tennille is employed as a physician's assistant, or maybe it's called, I believe it's called physician's associate. And Tennille achieved advanced credentials And we are very proud of her success. And we invite you to read more about Tennille. All right. That's it for the Office of Field Services.
All right, thanks, Beth. Okay, up next is Tony March, and Tony is the Director of DORS Office for Blindness and Vision Services, or OBVS. Tony?
Yes, OBVS. Hello, everyone. I'm Tony March, and I'm just going to provide a brief update regarding the Office for Blindness and Vision Services. Just a little bit about OBVS. We provide services for those individuals who have a vision impairment through the Vocational Rehabilitation Program, Independent Living Older Blind Program, and Business Enterprise Programs. The OBVS Vocational Rehabilitation Program provides services to those individuals who are seeking employment and who have low vision or blindness. Those services are the same as the services that Beth talked about, but just individuals who have vision impairments, and we provide specialized staff. The OBVS ILOB Independent Living Older Blind Program provides services for those individuals age 55 years or older who are losing their vision and need training to continue to live independently in the community. Currently, the Office for Blindness and Vision Services vocational program is serving approximately 1,061 consumers, and the Independent Living Older Blind program is serving approximately 821. The Business Enterprise program, which provides vending, cafeteria, and retail opportunities for legally blind individuals, has been very busy in the past year. Since the majority of facilities operated by blind vendors are located in federal buildings, the return to in-office operations by the federal government has meant requests to reopen formerly closed facilities in federal buildings. The Business Enterprise Program has opened 2 new facilities, a cafeteria and a coffee bar, and has reopened 7 facilities that were closed because of COVID and telework practices. This has resulted in 5 formerly displaced vendors going back to work. Additionally, the changes in operations have resulted in 9 licensed vendors assuming management of vending machine routes. The Independent Living Older Blind program during the past year, reductions in funding available have resulted in changes regarding purchasing services and devices. The ILOB program receives a small allotment from the federal government, and historically, it has been supplemented, that small allotment has been supplemented through program income gathered from successfully closed vocational rehabilitation cases. Due to increased cost and reduced program income, the Independent Living Older Blind program did not receive as much supplemental funding. The ILOB program continues to provide information and referral services and rehabilitation teacher services in the home. However, due to reduced funding, the program is not purchasing assistive technology, low vision devices, or low vision assessments at this time. We will continue to provide quality rehabilitation teaching services and will adjust services as funding allows. That's the report from the Office for Blindness and Vision Services, and I will turn it back to Kim.
Thanks, Tony. Okay, up next is Patrick Pito, who's the Program Manager for Quality Assurance Policy and Planning, and he has some policy updates for us.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Tony, for your update. As Kim said, my name is Patrick. I will be giving you a little bit of updates on some of what we've been doing on the policy front over the last year. As Miss Tony March had pointed out, we have had to tighten our fiscal belt a little bit. We've made a couple of policy edits here this past spring to try and maximize our resources. First off, we have reestablished our financial participation policy. In 2023, we had relaxed this policy to be able to provide services to individuals with no assessment of their current finances. this spring here, it looks like around the beginning of May, we had rolled that policy back for individuals who were already receiving services and under plan. We made no changes to their contribution at this time. Only new plans and or new services added to existing plans would be dependent upon consumers' financial income and financial participation. Just to be clear, no assessment, interpreter, or communication needs, so things that are necessary to participate in services, we're dependent upon financial information. At this time, we've also made a few changes to our post-secondary training and education policy. Once again, these are some measures that we've made to try and make the most of our financial resources to be able to serve all the individuals we can with disabilities in the state of Maryland. One of the changes we made is with regards to transportation. We've developed a form to best show the due diligence that our counselors are doing to try and assist consumers to meet their needs. Basically, what this means is we are requiring 3 quotes to show that we're using the most cost-effective service that meets individuals' rehabilitation needs. Another policy, I believe it was Miss Beth had brought this up to talk about the RISE program. That was the Reaching Independent Through Self-Employment. We've ended support with a contractor that we've worked with for the past few years. The contractor was named Psychometric Solutions. And what we've done is we're updating policy currently to continue to provide support for individuals that are receiving or that are interested in self-employment, but we were doing it through local resources such as Small Business Development Center, local community colleges, and obviously with the support and encouragement of our DORS staff. To kind of pivot to one other thing that was also brought up is we do have a current wait list for services. We have 2 categories of eligibility. Category 1 is individuals with the most significant disabilities. We handle them in a priority manner. Category 2 are individuals that have significant disabilities that may not affect as many aspects of their life. And unfortunately, at this time, we have a bit of a waiting list. Currently, this is a wait list as of 9/15, so a few days ago. Our total wait list at this time was 2,914 individuals. Of those 2,914 individuals, 948 are ages 21 and under. This represents individuals that have applied for services and placed on the wait list from with application dates ranging from 2021 to current. So we do have a little bit of a wait list that we're unable to serve at this time, but we're holding on hope that we'll be able to do some rollout at some time in the future. One additional pivot, I want to talk about some of the accomplishments that we've had over the last program year. This is a program year that started July 1st, 2024 and ended June 30th, 2025. During that time, Miss Tony's program with OBVS, Office of Blindness and Vision Services, as well as Miss Beth's program with the Office of Field Services, has achieved 1,082 successful employment outcomes over the last year. A successful employment outcome constitutes someone who has found a job, maintained that job for a period of at least 90 days, and is able to do so without additional support from DORS. So that represents, and we're real proud of this, that represents an increase of 73 successful employments over 1 year prior. During program year 23, we successfully exited 1,009. So we're real proud of that. Additionally, during that time, this past year, our average successful exiter worked 27 hours a week, with an average wage of $18.48. So we're real proud of that. Some of us that are a little long in the tooth can remember when a $10 rehab was really cause for celebration around the office. So to see these double-digit wages is really encouraging. During program year 23, the average wage was a little bit less, $17.53 an hour, and our individuals that were successfully exited worked about 26 hours per week. One last thing to point out, over that time, in this past program year, we served 14,619 individuals with disabilities. This represents an increase of just about 1,500 more than in program year 23. It's actually 1,491 individuals more than the previous year, where we served 13,128. We're real proud of our accomplishments here. We've done really well with helping our individuals with disabilities maintain employment and successfully exit. And we're certainly looking forward to continuing that in the future. I believe that's all my updates for today, Kim. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Patrick. All right, next up is Tom Liniak. He's the Director of Community-Based and Workforce Services. Tom?
Thank you, Kim, and good morning, everyone.
We can't hear you, Tom.
Now? No?
Yeah, you're just really soft, kind of tinny.
Give me 1 minute. Now? Anything now? Anything now? Okay.
It's always the technology that causes us problems. I could barely hear him. How was it for everyone else? Kind of the same? Or you couldn't hear him at all, or just barely? Yeah, Dr. Jones is saying. All right, you know what? Why don't we let Tom play with this technology for a minute, and we're gonna skip over me, and because I'll wrap things up, and we're gonna move on to Dr. Catherine Jones, who's the chair of the Maryland State Rehabilitation Council. Dr. Jones, see if your technology works.
We'll see.
There you go. I can hear you.
All right. So we're having a good morning then. Thank you, Ms. Schultz, for the introduction, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak. My name is Catherine Jones. I am the chair for the Maryland State Rehabilitation Council. And the purpose of the council is to help DORS and advise and analyze policies and programs and outcomes that support individuals in Maryland who are receiving vocational services. Our membership, all of our members are appointed by the governor, and it includes representation from the education, rehabilitation, employment, industry, and consumer advocacy groups. I am very happy to say that we are 23 members strong, and we actually have a couple that are still interested in the process of applying. We have identified an individual from NFB who would like to join our group. And we are still looking for an individual to represent as a parent advocate, and also someone who can represent from MSDE. Let's see, hold on. I was having technology issue there for just a second. From the special education early intervention childhood programs. So we still have 2 slots that we would like to fill in that capacity. The reality is that we can grow as much as we want to grow. We are not limited by numbers. So 23 is quite a large group. I'm also happy to report that our subcommittees are continuing on and they are growing stronger. And we are also making them public. And we are allowing members or the public to join the subcommittee meetings as ad hoc members. I also like to do a quick recognition of those that sit on the SRC that are part of today's meeting. Marla Freeman, which I'll be introducing in just a second for the CAP program. Of course, Dr. Bonner, Todd Tolson, thank you for joining us. Michelle Hamlin, Christina Richards, Neil Christopher, thank you for coming out and joining us again today in support of the SRC. The 4 subcommittees that we currently have developed are in blindness and vision services. Tony March is our liaison. Thank you, Tony. Employment and career development services. Wanda Peel is our liaison from DORS for that. Policy and planning. Thank you, Beth, for being there for policy and planning. And public relations and quality assurance, our DORS liaison is Kimberly Schultz, who is also coordinating today's meeting. The SRC will be putting together this fall our annual letter that looks at it's an overall report of what we've done as the SRC and also as the accomplishments of DORS that is provided to the governor's office and also to the state or to the Rehabilitation Services Administration. And so with that said, I'd like to introduce Marla Freeman. She is the Director of Client Assistance Program. And of course, the Client Assistance Program also helps guide us as to how we can advocate and better provide services for individuals with disabilities in the state of Maryland. So with that said, Marla, you're on next.
Hi, thank you so much, Dr. Jones. Again, I am Marla Friedman. I'm the Client Assistance Program Director. Along with me in the Client Assistance Program is Jocelyn Beltran-Contreras as our CAP specialist. So it's 2 of us here to help. So everyone knows, if you're not already aware, the Maryland Client Assistance Program is a federally funded program that can provide information, advice, advocacy for individuals that are applying for or receiving services from the Maryland Division of Rehabilitation Services, DORS, or Centers for Independent Living, the CILS. CAP was established back in 1984 as amendment to the Rehabilitation Act because navigating through these services can be very overwhelming. So our goal at CAP is to protect client and client applicants to ensure that they have respectful and fair treatment that's consistent with agency policies and federal laws. CAP is, so everyone understands, if someone's calling CAP and we work with them on a case, CAP is not a neutral party. We are always here to represent the client or the client applicant. So CAP is, we aim to resolve disputes at, and we're supposed to resolve disputes at the least formal means necessary. So if you find that you're having questions, concerns, difficulty navigating services, I hope I'm pointing you in the right direction to please reach out to us. And I will put the Client Assistance Program information in the chat. Have a great day, and thank you again for the introduction.
Okay, thanks, Marla. All right, we're going to try Tom again.
All right, can you hear
All
me now?
right, yes.
All right, now I'm probably deafening people, so. All right, so this goes even better if you can hear it. I will just say that. So my name is Tom Liniak. I'm the Director of Community-Based and Workforce Services at DORS, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to update you on the workforce and technology programs that we offer here in Baltimore and across the state. As we look back at last year, the update really starts with demand for our programs and services, which has increased significantly. Enrollment in our training programs and other services we provide directly to job seekers was up 24% over the preceding year. As we turn to some of the highlights, first in our rehabilitation technology services, that begins with our driver's education programs. We offer programs both for specific and non-specific populations. Suffice to say, for those that can, driving can be an employment game changer and a career game changer. We doubled the number of driver's ed programs that we offer specifically for individuals with autism, which has a very particularly tailored curriculum. Those classes included a behind the wheel component in the community where the individuals actually live. We also added a driver's ed program for deaf individuals for the first time this summer. All of these programs showed success as all the individuals enrolled passed their written test. So we have 100% we want to stay with. In another area, we added the College of Southern Maryland to our Pathways program for students with autism. This program is specifically designed for individuals who are at community colleges and to take up some of the gaps that are not covered by disability support services on the community college campuses. We now work with 7 different community colleges around the state. We are there in person and we also work online. Moving now to some highlights in our workforce services area. A wise person or some person once said, you can't have employment without employers. And we agree. So turning to following that pathway, we added new business partnerships to our training programs that we've already seen returning results for our job seekers. Sodexo at Morgan State was added as an internship, training, and hiring partner in our food service program. Our first cohort there led to 8 hires who are all still there. Also in food service, we are entering into a partnership with Baltimore City Public Schools to be an internship site and a train to hire site for food service and for warehouse. They have significant hiring needs. We have job seekers who are well tailored to those needs. We already have our first hire over there, and we look forward to that partnership beginning in the fall and continuing. We entered into a hiring partnership along with field services and business services at DORS with the Anne Arundel County Public School System Food Service. And we already have our first hire there, and we expect several others. Again, meeting businesses where they are with demand and matching our students and training them to it. We expanded in our employment training programs in the community, those away from WTC in Baltimore. Our CVS retail program is year-round in conjunction with Prince George's Community College in Laurel. And we added a training program in Salisbury for the first time this year, which will continue. We work with Warwick Community College and Salisbury University in that program. This marked the first time at WTC that we had employment training programs in 3 locations across the state at the same time. Last but not least, the Rehabilitation Services Administration, who it's the arm of the federal government that provides the DORS funding, is producing a success story for every state. A former WTC student who had attended our CVS retail and pharmacy tech programs and has passed the national pharmacy tech exam was chosen for the Maryland story. We're quite proud and pleased of this individual, and the video will be debuting in October and will be part of National Disability Employment Awareness Month. That is it for my update. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Tom. So I'm going to just give you a couple of updates from the Office of Communications. I'm going to actually read from the website. I gave a summary yesterday, but this is more accurate. There's some changes to what's called digital accessibility requirements. So Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, has been updated to include specific standards for web and mobile accessibility, which will be required for all Maryland state government websites beginning April 24 of 2026. And this also means that entities that subcontract with DORS must meet these revised standards and have accessible websites and content beginning also in April. So as to support our community rehabilitation partners, or CRPs, Donna Leto, who is my accessibility expert, is conducting a couple of trainings. She did one last week and she's doing another one on October 8th. They're about an hour and a half each, and the information's on the DORS website. They're all conducted via Zoom, so the public is welcome. It's specifically for CRPs, but anybody on this meeting who wants to watch is welcome to attend. And she's not really doing training. She's just doing an overview of what makes a website accessible or not accessible. And then offering resources so that these entities can get themselves accessible by next spring. And then just the other update quickly is that we're getting what's called a new content management system, or CMS, for the DORS website and the MSRC website. And we don't really know when that's going to happen. We were told 2 weeks ago that the MSRC website would be the first one, and then we were told last week that that's changing. So I have a meeting next week to find out the status of that, but just stay tuned. The website will change and will look different sometime next year. So that concludes the presentation part of the public meeting. If anybody who's in attendance has any questions or comments, as I said earlier, you can either raise your hand and either myself or Erica will call on you, because I can't see everyone. Maybe Erica can see more folks than I can. Or you can put it in the chat and we'll do our best to get you an answer or get some contact information so we can follow up. See anything, Erica?
No, ma'am.
I'll give people a second because folks might be typing. While in case anybody's doing that, I'm going to just say that what happens after this is that all the presenters here today have to send me notes, basically what they said in their presentation, and then I'm going to compile those, and those will be posted on the DORS website, but I will link from the MSRC website as well. So just a summation of everything that we talked about today and the other day, which were basically the same thing. So anything coming up?
No hands are raised and there's nothing new in the chat.
Okay, well, I'm going to turn things back over to Dr. Bonner for a minute, but you still have a couple of minutes if anybody wants to add anything. And otherwise, we're going to close up with Dr. Bonner.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Schultz. And thank you so much, DOORS members. I do also want to make sure that I recognize everyone on the call. So executive staff, thank you for being here. Community partners and the SRC, thank you for being here. I don't see you all individually, but I think Mr. Tolson, Ms. Richards, Ms. McGinley, all of you all, Mr. Christopher, thank you so much for being here, Ms. Hamlin as well. We are stronger together. I continue to tell you that as well. I strongly encourage you, if you have not joined an SRC meeting, please look out and look at our website to make sure that you attend one of the SRC meetings as well. In addition to that, please, please, please make sure that you stay involved. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your local field offices and or regional office and WTC. And if you would like to get in contact with me, make sure that you contact me as well. We work I work in great partnership in tandem with Ms. McGinley, who handles a lot of our community relations. And so if you would like to contact me, my email address is on the website. I can be reached at my first name, last name, eric.bonner@maryland.gov. It has been a pleasure to be with you all today and community. Once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of the day and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
You, bye.
Stay safe, everyone.